Hey everybody, it's me Lisa here. I just wanted to jump in on our Facebook group, our Global Goddess Tribe group here, and just share with you what we're doing at our studio for the full moon and the winter solstice. So I want to invite you to join us for the next hour. We're going to be doing some information about like cleansing and purifying yourself for the solstice as we move into this new season, as well as the full moon. Some practices for that, and then we're going to be sharing with Nicole Graffis. Nicole is, here she is.
Hi!
And all of her bowls. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So comment and chat and say hey whenever you jump in, and share this video with somebody that you might want to join you. So thank you so much for being here, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for being here. And I know we kind of had a prerequisite to getting officially started. So I think most of you are kind of familiar with the agenda for today. So what I wanted to share before we get fully into the bowl workshop is a little bit about myself and a little bit about Nicole, just briefly. I know that most of you we know, and I know we have a few new faces here. So I wanted to introduce you to Nicole, and then I'm going to just share with you a little bit about me. I have had this studio here on our property since 2015. I had a previous studio in Red Oak, Texas, and that was since 2011. I started teaching yoga and getting my certification in 2007. And so I've taught well over 8,000 hours of yoga in the lineage of Vinyasa. From Krishnamacharya is the traditional teachings. So I don't traditionally teach Western yoga. I teach more on the traditional 8-limb path, the Ashtanga, the traditional way. And I bring in the goddess energy to those flows. So it's called intuitive Vinyasa. And it's a downloaded practice where the sequences are taken and studied and embodied from the masters. And then as we practice it, we fluidly kind of reciprocate that back to who's in front of us. And learning these small sequences in little snippets and embodying them in our own practices, then whenever we're ready to teach them, it just organically flows, and we allow spirit to move through us as teachers to allow for us to share exactly what's perfect for the person that's there that day, or the people that are there that day. And so one of the great masters, BKS Iyengar, has said you can teach to 1 or you can teach to 100, and it doesn't really matter because you're teaching to who's there. And that's a paraphrase, of course. But that's what he taught, and one of the most important things to remember is when you're arriving, if you're feeling like, whatever's in your body is there for you on your mat, and you're just kind of showing up, then whatever kind of practice you're coming to, then just setting your intention is the most important part of that. So even those y'all that are joining us on video, just setting your intention to this season. So that's what I wanted to speak to a little bit right now, is this is a very particular time in history that both the full moon and the winter solstice are in conjunction in the Sagittarius energy, and this will not happen again until 2094. I don't think I'll be here. I don't know, she might, but I don't think I'll be here. So, this is a very rare opportunity to not only shift seasons, and the shifting of seasons, especially a solstice, is really about letting go of what was previous and then embracing what you're embodying and what you're manifesting and you're mastering. And then the full moon is all about cleansing and purifying and releasing, embracing that watery energy, that fluidness in our life. And so I wanted to just briefly open with a little practice. I want to share, Nicole to share a little bit about herself, and then I'll just show you a small practice that you can do over this holiday weekend before we jump right into Christmas and all that stuff. So, sure.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nicole Graffis, and I have a company called Soham Crystal Sounds. I do sound baths. Also, I do personal sound baths for individual sessions, and then I also sell crystal singing bowls. So I'm just really happy. Yes. To these are crystal tones, crystal singing bowls, and I'll talk about the bowls quite a bit as we go through the workshop. But I was called to the bowls after a trip I took to Hawaii, and I was really looking for my healing modality, and this is what showed up for me. So I embraced that, and that was back in November of 2017. So I've been doing this since February only. So I'm not musically educated, so everything that I've taught I basically have learned on my own. I will have some information that was shared by other sound healers, and I was very grateful to get that information. So everything that I'm going to give you today is what I know about balls. Everybody has their own philosophies about sound healing and what that means and what it is. So what you're going to hear today is my philosophy on sound healing. So that's about me.
Thank you. And what was your background before you got into this?
I was a professional real estate investor since 2008. So I own apartment buildings, and I actually put syndication together so other people could invest in real estate. And I'm very fortunate to be where I am and being able to do something I love. I'm very blessed. So something completely different.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to be able to shift like that and just follow your true calling.
Yes, it's a gift.
It is a gift.
For sure.
And Nicole is about to start studying in the Shamanic Teachings this next year. I am just completing the 5th Shamanic Teaching in January. So it's an amazing path. The Shamanic Teachings are really about the indigenous cultures all over the world and all of those practices that are used. My particular lineage is from Nepal, and yours is from where? Peru, okay. So we'll be sharing information as we both continue our path. So that's another offering that she and I both have for you in person or through distance healing. And I'm a Reiki master teacher. I love to share Reiki with people. I really work solely with women, just for the fact that I just feel like my purpose in life is to help women find their purpose, their platform, and their passion and their potential, and empower women. And so through the tools that I've used over the last 18 years, I found Reiki in 2000, and then I got my master teacher in 2010. And so throughout that period of time, I've just really, shifted into embodying it completely. I became an ordained minister on my 44th birthday. And so I do weddings, and I also have been trained in the shamanic world to do what we call death and dying practice. And so to help people to stand in their stead and to hold space for them as they cross over, or for the families that are dealing with the ones that are crossing over. And it's a very interesting place to travel to, because as shamanic practitioners, we are able to step into non-ordinary reality and help those people and guide them with our guides. We don't do it, our guides do it, we just are the mediator. So that's really been a very cool journey. And so yes, we'll get to your comments on Facebook after the video, so we can't see the comments, but feel free to comment, because we will address every question that you might have as you come up. So thank you for joining us. So y'all give me some hearts if you can hear me okay. If you can't, give me a mad face or something so we know what's going on. If you can hear, can you read in the comments? So with that being said, I want to share with you a practice that is really, one of my teachers taught me, and it's kind of adapted from some of the Native American practices, and it's a prayer bundle. And so in this prayer bundle, it's really, I would just, in your home, just find a piece of cloth. And so this is just burlap. And so burlap, and then some string. And so I just picked this pretty string here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take and just put some things that you find on your land or outside, or some herbs that you might have or might have ordered or harvested. And then you're, like here I have cedar. Do you want to show this to the camera so everyone can see what these are? Do you want to be my helper? Okay, some of the pieces might fall out, but that's okay. So we have the burlap and the cedar. You can show everybody on the video there. And then any string will do, usually the finer string. Oh, good job. Awesome. Yes. And then we have rosemary. So this one's snipped from my beautiful plant that one of my dear friends that's coming over later has shared. There's the rosemary. You can't see her, but you can see the rosemary. And this is lavender. And so we can pass these around if you want to smell it. If you want to put a sprig on the top of your mat, feel feel free to do that. And you can make your own prayer bundle when you get home. We're not going to be doing that today. You can pass these around. Come on. So what you do is hello, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Hi. So you take the herbs and you put them in a little bundle inside your little piece of cloth. You can just cut up a t-shirt. You can use any kind of cloth you like. And then you just bundle it up just like that with all the stuff in it. And then you take your string and you tie it off. And so when you do that, what you do is you blow. There's very much power in our wind. And in the winds, we create change. We create shift. We call in our teachers. We call in our guides. We call in the winds from the different directions. And so we blow in, and right now we're focusing on two things, like we mentioned, releasing and then embracing. And so as the solstice shifts into this new return of the light, since we are now going to longer days, last night was the longest, darkest night, last 2 nights were the longest, darkest nights. However, we had full moon, which was really cool. So you take your prayer bundle, tie it off, and leave a tail end so you can tie it onto something, and you're going to blow in all of the things you're releasing. And just blowing it in there, imagining all of those things just getting all bundled up in those herbs and all those goodies. If you have some crystallized resins, you can put a few pieces of those in there, like frankincense or myrrh or amber or anything like that. And then you're going to next blow in what you're calling in, what you're manifesting, your prayers and the things you're bringing into your life. And so you're going to take and just do as many of those rounds as you want. If you want to make one for your family member or they want to join you with it, it's really fun to do with your family. And then you can take, and there's a couple options. If you have a ceremonial fire, which I do recommend using fire for this, especially if you have a lot of shit to let go of, excuse me, then you really want to burn it. It feels really good. And also it feels great to use this, what we call as a puja in yoga, is an offering. And so you can use that as those prayers go up in smoke to reach into the heavens and into the angelic realm. And so burning is great. However, there's another way to do that. So if you take your little prayer bundle, tie it off, and then you can tie it to a tree and then leave it there. And especially with burlap, it's really fun. It starts to fiber off in little pieces of it. Or if you have thin cloth like the prayer flags and things that are made out of, then those pieces will begin to just fly off into the landscape. And as those pieces do, it carries your prayers with them. And it releases everything you're releasing. So then by spring, your little bundle will be completely broken down and faded. And then you can just release it into the ground. You can bury it. You can burn it. You can do whatever with it. There won't be much of it left. So those are two things you can do as you come into your intention for, I'm all full of burlap now, for this next season. And so Nicole wanted me to just to share a quick chant for the chakras so we could align our chakras. So,
yes, so what I would like to do is I want to play that bowl note as we chant.
Okay.
So start from C and go all the way up there.
So this chant, I don't know what key it is because we always start with the root, which is
the
long.
C is the root.
Okay, so it's long. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Chakra. You want your tailbone to be grounded down. Make sure you're fully supported as you sit down into the earth. You can take any seated posture that you like. Grounding down. Can you feel it vibrating, those of you that are in the space? Yes. So it's going to activate your root, and the chant for this is LAM, L-A-M. It is a very simple chant. It's just LAM, LAM, and we're going to do it 7 times. So we're going to do it one more time, and then we'll all do it together. Big breath in, and go. LAM, 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 LAM. Beautiful.
We'll go forever.
Yeah, got louder there at the end of the last. Well, and also our energy will feed back into the crystal because it will feel that vibration. So it'll, without her even hitting it, it'll feel that. It'll pick that up. Yeah. So did you all notice that? Yeah. Okay. So the next one is our sacral chakra.
One of the things about the bowls, I'll just share with you real quickly. It's one of the things that I was going to share during the time that I can teach you some techniques. But I always tap the bowl 3 times to open it up, and that's basically asking for the bowl's permission to play
Oh, I
it.
love
So
that.
I tap it 3 times, and then I'll rim it on the rest of the notes as we go.
This is sacral chakra. You can take and make a downward facing triangle, which is the symbol of the yoni, the abundance, and the watery element. You're going to place the thumbs right beneath the navel. The fingertips are going to point towards your pubis, and then just rest your palms on your body. And this one is VAM, V-A-M. Big breath in. VAM, 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 VAM. Now what I want you to do is to activate the sacral chakra, we're going to hold into the knees. And we're going to do a few kundalini circles. So separate your ankles so that they're not crossed, they're just dropped, your hips are dropped open. Make sure you're sitting on something that's high enough that your hip, little bony part of your hip is level or higher than your knees. So if your knees sit high, you might want to go ahead and get extra items. There's plenty of more pillows up here. Crystal, do you want to pass out a few more pillows so people can stack their seats a little higher? And also we have a back row that doesn't have any props. Yes. So the next, and I actually like to use this, my teacher is Nicole Bachman for my Sanskrit, and I want to show you this poster because it's really super helpful. For those of you that are learning about the chakras, so I'm going to show you this, and I recommend all my teachers get this poster as well. So this is the SanskritSounds.com chakra poster, and you can see on here it has Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om. So you can see as you go up the chakras here. And so this one is great. If any of y'all want to order it, you can go to SanskritSounds.com. And I'll be referencing this. So I'm going to kind of, here, I'll just stick it over here for right now. Okay, so we're going to work on the next one, which is Ram. And this is the Manipura, the upward facing triangle. So just take the fingertips to point straight toward each other, right at the navel, at the solar plexus. This one is Ram. Ready? Breath in. Ram, 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 Ram. Nice. You feel all the energy moving. That really moves a lot of energy. I feel like that one we need to do again. Yeah, do y'all feel like there's a lot of energy there? No, there's a lot of energy there. This is the center of your system that's going to be kind of your indicator for a lot of people, whether you are moving too much and too much energy is being expended and your adrenal glands are fatiguing and you're stressing out. Especially watch for that over the holidays. Tap into your Manipura chakra, listen to your body. If you need to slow down, or you're going to get sick, or you're going to break an arm, or you're going to get hit by a car. The universe will make you slow down if you do not listen. Okay, you have to be obedient. And the first thing is tapping in to your body and getting those tiny little signals. Don't ignore them, because you're going to get beaten by Mother Durga
It'll get handed to you.
with a paddle. Yes, it will get handed to you. So just really pay attention. This is one area I want you to start paying attention to. On the other hand, on the other opposite side of the spectrum, the Manipura chakra will also be in a place of, like this will show when you're lethargic and you need to build more fire. Like there's too much water, too much earth. You don't want to get out of bed. You just want to sit in bed and watch TV all day. You want to eat and just don't want to talk to people. And you're kind of going into this which is great sometimes, you know, because especially when we're kind of hibernating this time of year, you need some of that. But if it's out of balance, then you can pull more fire in and less water. And that's the fire center. So we'll do the ROM again. I want you to kind of pay attention to where you're at on that scale. Okay? Let your belly be loose. Okay, big breath in, and we'll do 7 ROMs. Breath in. Rom, 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 rom. And sit with that. Notice if you feel imbalanced, or if your solar plexus is telling you it's a little too hot, a little too fiery, too much wind, too much air, or if it's a little too watery, too much earthy, it's a little stagnant, or if you're kind of right in the middle. Okay, slowly open your eyes. Did anyone feel kind of any messages in their body? You get any indicators? Okay, does anyone want to share anything that came up?
I've needed that for the last 2 weeks. I've been hibernating in bed in an adrenal crash.
Oh,
and so
good. Okay,
just pulling out of it like the last couple of days.
Good.
I think last night had a lot to do, like woke up feeling better this morning.
So glad you're here.
Yeah, me too. So thank you.
Good,
for that.
good.
Do more of that.
Yes.
I'll play some D sharps when we do our sound bath, because the D sharp is for the adrenal gland.
Oh, perfect. Good. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for
thank you.
sharing that. Yes. Anybody else want to share anything that came up in those lower 3 chakras? The earth, the water, or the fire? Okay.
It's just feeling like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like a thumping.
Yes, you can definitely feel your energy moving here.
Yeah.
And she was saying it kind of feels like a heartbeat. Sometimes, in like where I feel it in my body is if, first of all, if I concede to something that I really shouldn't have said yes to, then I feel it right here, right away. And I'm like, why did I say yes? You know, why did I agree to that? Right here, right away. Just, you know, I just locked up, and I'm like, oh, I need to either retract that or go back and fix it right away. You know, because if I follow through with it, it's not going to be on the right path. That's my little sensor right there. And also, when you're overdoing things, you could feel that energy getting too high. And she said sometimes it kind of feels like a heartbeat, and it's just like that energy center is just too active. And so we can regulate that by bringing the energy down with those lower note bowls and, you know, the lower chakra chants. All right, so we're going to move up into the heart. The heart is the middle of the solar plexus. And I feel like my little bowl wants to be over here because she's an A2 and she wants to play with the big girls. Okay, so she's going to sit over here with your girls. She never gets to play with the big girls because,
You know what? If you want to put it up there, I'll play it during the sound bath.
okay, she wants to play too.
So let's put her right there.
Okay, this is an A as well. She's not nearly as fancy as the other girls, but she wanted to come and play. So, okay, they all have little personalities, which is good. I was like, but they're all over there and I'm over here. She's good now. She's happy. And you'll notice your bulls have little personalities. You think I'm like a little insane, which I may be. However, they do. They like all of a sudden, you know, like she mentioned, there's a specific one that was like, I need to be played today. I need to play today. You know, like they'll mention to you, like you'll be hearing that, or it'll be in your heart. And the heart chakra is super important because that is where we really sense all this stuff. So she's going to play the A bowls for us. Take a moment to feel that. Lay our hands on our heart.
I thought the F bowl is the heart.
Oh,
A
okay.
is the third eye.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, that's okay.
So F. So this one is hum. So we'll do 7 hums. You want to play it one more time? And then heart. So if you feel like you'd like to open that heart space, you can bring your arms out and open. You can bring them even up into Victory Mudra. And I could just feel the expansiveness. And Nicole and I want to do a fun thing with the dowsing rods when we have more time and less people. But you can take dowsing rods. Has anybody ever worked with dowsing rods? They're really fun. I don't want to go off on a rabbit trail, so I won't go get them out because it's so much fun to play with. But they're usually like those the old timers would find water with the little divination stick. It's exactly what they do. But the newer versions are, well, not really new, but I mean they're like modern version, is that it's made out of copper, and then it's shaped like an L, like a short L, and then inside the short part, it's usually like in a little copper, an empty piece, an empty pipe, so that it can spin full circle. So literally you don't do anything, you just hold it level. And when you push it towards somebody, like if I was gonna test with Jackie, and I took the dowsing rods and pushed it toward her heart, once I got to the edge of her heart chakra, those rods go doop. It is the wildest, craziest thing. You cannot make that up. Like seriously, that is so real. It's like just an evidence that, okay, false evidence appearing real, right? That's fear. So this is real, even though we can't see it, but we can sense it, we can feel it. So that sixth sense that you have, because you're a kid, you don't know any different. You can have fun and she has the ability to have fun, and Nadia too over there has the ability just to play and have fun and enjoy things and not have to judge how they're supposed to be. So even though we can't sense and feel things, we can, like with your heart especially, have you ever walked into a room and you're like, oh, something's going on here, I need to go, I'm gonna shut the door, I'm gonna go back out because there's some heavy stuff in this room. Or if you walk into a room and all of a sudden everyone's happy and joyful and you're like, oh, this is a fun place to be. You can just tell by walking into that space. And our heart is that indicator. So we'll do the heart one more time.
Okay.
And this time just really use this for your own filling up. Switch, come back, prayer position. And now we're going to take our right hand to our heart, our left palm open toward the person closest to you. And then we're going to pull energy, like from her, I'm going to pull her energy in through the back of my heart. And that's where you receive from. And then I'm going to send it out from the front of my heart through my left hand, which is one reason why the wedding ring is on the left hand, is because that's a direct connection to your heart. They scientifically said that's not an actual neural pathway, but it is an energetic pathway, so that wedding ring leads right to your heart. So we'll just breathe in and then send out through our left hand. But notice if you only send out, it gets stuck, right? The energy gets stuck. You have to receive in order to send out. That's for you ladies especially. You have to pull the energy in to keep your side of the bargain, to keep that flow going. And then sending out. Let's feel the energy moving, and we'll bring it back to center. So now we're at the center of our energy system. There's 3 chakras below, there's 3 chakras above, and so these are the most defined energy systems, the ones that are defined in the Vedas. So now we're moving into the last, which is one of the elements. So we have earth, water, fire, air. So now air is going to be able to regulate that fire by breathing on the fire, and the fire gets hotter and stronger and the flames get bigger. And if that fire gets too hot, then we can bring it down into the sacral chakra, into that water element. Okay, so that's how we kind of regulate that solar plexus that we're talking about. Now, the next one is ether. So ether is space, and believe it or not, we are actually mostly space. Inside the atom is actually very little mass. I think it's less than 2% or maybe even 0.2%. It's very, very, very little mass. We are almost all space. My son is studying nuclear engineering, which is super cool because he's learning about the physics of everything, and I'm studying quantum physics. And so to have all this come together in science, which is so cool to me because I've been studying the philosophy part of it for so many years, to have that science behind it is really powerful. So the ether is the space element. That's in your throat chakra, and this is the last of the elements in the body. So we'll do our throat. Which note is this?
G.
Okay. Just feel the energy around the throat. This is also called the bottleneck of the chakra system because we tend to stuff stuff down and eat or drink and not talk about it, or we tend to talk too much in anger or not in a rightful way. So just feel this center expanding. And how you can tap into this center with Reiki is just placing one palm on the front of your throat and then one palm on the back. Now this is the short Om, so we're going to do 7 short Oms. So play one more time, just get it going real good, and then we'll do 7 short Oms. Thank you. Okay, ready? And go. Om, 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 Om. Just feel your throat center being nurtured and loved. And gently release, and just let your palms roll open onto your lap. In an open palm position will be for receiving, or in a downward position with index finger to thumb is Jhana Mudra, the symbol of wisdom, and palms down for grounding. So whatever you feel you need right now. Take a few breaths and breathe into that throat chakra. Breathe into the nose and out through the mouth. Just make a soft ha. So let's make a couple more audible ahs. Breath in. So we'll do 3 breaths with making the ah sound. Breath in. Breath in. Make sure you can hear your voice. Let's feel that expansiveness. Now you feel the energy moving from earth to throat, throat to earth, down and up. And it moves in spirals like the DNA strand around either side of our chakras and then back. And you just feel that energy moving. You can even kind of take your hands and scan the front of your body. And then taking your hands down and kind of scan and just noticing any areas that might be out of balance or need a little more balance. You can do the back of the body. And then just releasing. Now we're getting into the third eye, Anja chakra, and this one is, the Anja chakra was the one we just did. The next one is the Sahasrara, which is the crown chakra, which you can see here on the top. It's the 1,000-spoked lotus, or 1,000-spoked petals, and it's the long Om. So the long Om has all of the vowel sounds in it. It actually combines all the sounds. Ah, O, U, And then before you close your mouth and do the you close your throat, and that brings the vibration into your skull, and then you close your lips. So it's So we're gonna do 7.
So this is for the crown?
This is for the crown. What note is this?
B.
Okay. So you might already be able to feel it vibrating in your skull. Sit up nice and tall. Make sure that the tip top of your head is right above your root. And you have a relaxed tailbone so that the tailbone is not kicking out and you're not losing energy in your sacral chakra. You're pulling your tailbone slightly in and under to relax the belly. You can take any mudra, palms up, index finger to thumb, palms down, whatever feels comfortable for you. So Nicole, if you wouldn't mind playing it one more time, then we're going to do 7 long ohms. And everyone participate so we can get a group unification in the sound. Your own breath. So go ahead and just start when your breath stops and do 7 on your own. Body, in your emotional body, in your wisdom body, and in your light body. Feel your tailbone grounded into the earth, and yet feel your crown of your head lifting toward the sky as your body just remains completely at rest. Your energy is lifted up and out, even outside the body. And slowly come back in, grounding down through the third eye, through the throat, through the heart, through the solar plexus, through the navel center, down into the root, grounding down into the earth, deep down, all the way through the bedrock, down through the natural springs, deep, deep down into the magma at the very center of Panchamama, our planet, our Mother Earth, and wrap your energy center tail all the way around the center of our planet, grounding you in. And coming back completely to your body once you feel like your back, just open and close the hands a few times. Maybe stretch a little bit. And bring our hands back to our heart. And thank you for participating in that. It was really nice. Anybody have any feedback that you'd like to share?
Bliss.
Bliss, it is bliss. The bowls, I mean, take it to a whole nother level, really. So yeah, investing in your own set of bowls is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Or have a really good friend that has some awesome bowls. Come over to your studio, hang out.
Okay, I had a lot to share today, and it's already 3 o'clock. So let's do a short sound meditation. Let me ask a question. Are you guys more interested in being here for a sound bath or to learn about the bowls? So I want to make sure we get.
So who would like to learn about the bowls?
Want both.
Who would like a sound bath? Okay, so let's do 15 minutes of each.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I may not get to teach you everything I want to teach you today, so we'll kind of, what I may end up doing is just talk briefly about what the bowls are, and then talk more about how to play the bowls and what they're used for healing wise. Is that okay?
So
Okay.
can we do the sound bath last? That way, because I'm telling you, once everyone gets into the sound bath, it's going to be very hard to come back out and actually be paying attention. So, can we do the teaching part first?
Sure.
Okay.
Do that first.
Yeah, just from
Okay.
personal experience, I know what's going to happen. Y'all be like, oh, I'm just going to go home and meditate, we're going to go sit by the river. So, we want you paying attention while because this is important information. And then we'll take about 10 to 15 minutes to go over we have at least 15 minutes to go over that. And then we'll just do a short sound bath. And then, of course, we have it on our Facebook group, too, so you can replay it anytime you want. So we are recording it for you, so you can actually do the sound bath again at home, just kind of skipping through to the end of the video. And you can set up your own little spot.
Yep, you can. And then if you feel like you want to learn more about the bowls than I've been able to give you today, I'm always open to having anyone come to my studio. Come to my studio, see all my bowls, play any bowls you want.
Get a hold of her here.
Teach you anything you want to know
So I'm going to
about the bowls.
show everybody on the video. Hey guys, we're going to show you how to get a hold of Nicole. So this is her information here. She is at 817-994-5813, and it's Nicole at Sohum, SOHUM, crystalsounds.com, or you can go to sohumcrystalsounds.com and book a session. And so we're going to go ahead and just learn a little bit about the bowls.
Okay, so I use a formula that I've created called CASI, C-A-S-I equals P-E. And it's really easy since I put it in that little anagram, the analogy that I use to remember what it is. So it's C-A-S-I, which is crystal, alchemy, sound, and intention, equals P-E, which is the pure energy. So those 4 elements, the crystal, sound, alchemy, and intention, are the things that create the pure energy that enters your body and is going to align with your crystalline structure. So the bowls are crystal tones. They're manufactured out of Utah, and they come from crystal that's from one of the most sought after mines in North Carolina. They take that crystal and they melt it down to 4,000 degrees and put it in a centrifugal mold. And during that process, they add the alchemy, which I'll talk about in a second. But the bowls are 99.994% or 2% pure crystal. So you have the energetic healing properties of the crystal, which is able to store, magnify, transmute energy. So you have that energetic source in the crystal, and then you add the alchemy, which is additional precious metals, rare earth, precious gems, or other quartz crystals. So each one of these bowls has an additional element. So this is rhodochrosite. This is Super 7, which is able to balance all 7 chakras at one time. So they all have something special about them. That's why I said they all have a personality. They're all very unique. So the alchemy adds that extra level of energetic healing where the bowls are concerned. And then you add the sound. So each bowl has a different note, and each note corresponds with a chakra. So if you go to, can I have one of those too? If you go to the last page, is there an extra one?
They're passed around.
Okay. The last page is the chakra reference point. I'll show that to the Facebook people. And it shows what notes coordinate with what chakra. And I thought I brought money. what notes coordinate with what chakras. And then we also have endocrine notes. So those are the half notes or the sharp notes, and those correspond with the endocrine glands. So when you're trying to decide what kind of bowl to get, that's really important to know what note you would like to use, and also the sound that it makes, the crystal, and the alchemy. So it's a personal process to pick a bowl.
Can you add this to our Facebook group in the files?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll upload this reference chart and these pieces of information for those of you that are on the Facebook group. So later on today we'll add that so you'll be able to download those.
So what I'm doing is called sound bath. Let me find my baby glasses.
Yes.
Okay, so sound baths are group healing experiences that use sound to induce a meditative state. It's called a bath because the sound, waves, and frequencies literally wash over you, cleaning away any stuff or negative energies and bringing you back to your natural state of balance. Sound baths are almost always effortless ways to meditate, as the sounds help to facilitate shifts in our brainwave state. By using rhythm and frequency, we can entrain our brainwaves to downshift our normal consciousness to a meditative state, making it possible for internal healing to take place. The same concept is utilized in meditation by regulating the breathing, but with the sound healing, it's a combination of the frequency and the rhythm that influences the shift. So that's part of the sound as well. Some of the benefits of sound therapy is it provides a deep state of relaxation, can reduce stress, increases sleep quality, unlocks creativity, reduces pain, relieves or lessens anxiety and depression, and can boost immunity. It also can induce altered states of consciousness. So lots of benefits from the sound healing, and the best part of it is it's effortless. So literally, whether you are trying to connect with the sound or not, it's going to connect with you. We are, like I said, crystalline structure, so are the bowls. So some of this information came from the Sound Healing Academy out of London, and I have a friend that's a sound healer, and she's in Amsterdam. And she did the Sound Healing Academy, so she actually shared the information about the crystal bowls section of her sound healing education with me, which is really nice because, like I said, I'm kind of self-taught. So this is from the Sound Healing Academy.
I didn't even know there was a Sound Healing Academy.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in London.
Oh wow, how cool is that?
It's about the crystal bowls and the how they heal, balance, and transform. The bowls remove blockages to energy flow within the chakras, aura, and physical body. They relax, realign, and balance the body, mind, heart, and soul. The sounds emitted from the bowls are enchanting harmonic tones, resonant of an angelic choir. The bowls create a feeling of peace in a loving and compassionate way, bring us back into perfect balance and harmony. Negative states of mind, stress and tension, as well as daily life, may cause disturbances in the natural flow of energy in and around our body's energy systems. Energies become disrupted, causing blockages which create dissonant vibrations as we become out of sync with our individual, unique, and natural state of vibration. And this over time may cause disease, stress, tension, or disharmony to manifest. Quartz crystal singing bowls can bring us back into our natural state of balance, returning the chakras, aura, and physical body to its natural state of healthy, resonant vibration. These bowls allow the body's mind, heart, and soul's highest potential to vibrate in perfect balance and harmony. If you're in a state of perfect harmony, your potential will shine and vibrate out into the universe. Crystal singing bowls have the power and potential of both the quartz crystal with which they are made and the sound they emit. The most abundant component of the physical body is connective tissue, which is a liquid crystalline material. The connective tissue forms a continuously interconnected system throughout the living body. All the other main systems in the body, such as the circulation, nervous, muscular, skeletal, digestive, reproductive, respiratory, and all the organs are ensheathed in this connective tissue. The connective tissue is composed of semiconductors that enable a range of oscillating bioelectric signals, vibrations, to spread rapidly into every tissue and cell in the body. The bones are made from a combination of oxygen, of collagen, which is a protein in the form of a double helix intertwined around in that forms the framework for a type of calcium phosphate called apatite. Apatite crystals exist throughout the body, in the skull, and in our teeth. These crystalline structures in our physical body resonate effectively with the sounds emitted by the crystal singing bowls. These bowls realign those parts of us that are imbalanced with the use of sound combined with the crystal. This creates a vibration that will amplify and transform the healing energies which are stored within the bowl and work directly with the crystalline structure of the body, as well as alter brain wave frequencies and allowing us to enter into the alpha theta optimum healing frequency, and also creating a balance and synchronization in the two hemispheres of the brain. So pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And right now, particularly with this solstice and the full moon, here we are at December 22nd, 2018, and there is a particular resonance that's happening that might disrupt bones and teeth and things like that because of the changes that are happening in the atmosphere and in the planetary shifts. And so this is really essential, again, to bring all that into harmony. So as we bring things into harmony, those tiny little things that we didn't even know about our bodies start to get stronger and restructure and develop that stronger bond. So just realizing that we have crystals in our own body is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is an excellent time to be here today on your mat with some singing bowls. So there is some symbolism also of the bowl and the wand. The understanding of the hidden symbolisms of the bowl and wand is important and can lead to a deeper and more profound relationship with your sound tools. The bowl represents the feminine energy, and all objects which are bowl shaped, such as chalice, cauldron, or bell, symbolize the feminine principle. The feminine energy is associated with the womb, which are nurturing, healing, caring, and life-giving symbols. The female is naturally intuitive, creative, and has a greater connection to the intuition. The bowl is representative of the moon, which is linked to the emotional body and the emotions of the human. Placing the bowl in lunar energy, particularly full moon energy, can increase the receptivity of the divine feminine aspects of the bowl. The bowl itself is round or circular and has no beginning or end, and therefore it represents wholeness, oneness, and endless possibilities. The wand represents the masculine principle, which symbolizes a dynamic, active quality. This manifests vibrations which can help release blocked energy. The wand is a symbol of manifestation and bringing into being that which we require. With the wand, manifestation is able to take place through its connection with the endless possibilities that are combined within the bowl. And it is the wand that is the active force in enabling those possibilities to be manifest. The union part of the wand and the bowl is an act of creation, and by playing the bowl, we are part of that creation. That means to create comes from the balancing and the union of the masculine and feminine principle, which is the symbolic of the union of the self. And in order to create, both aspects of the self need to be balanced. Therefore, the union of these two energies creates healing sound energy, enabling the client's energies to find balance and harmony. This is no coincidence, this is the perfection. And with this balance and union of the masculine and the feminine principles in the creation of the whole, or yin and yang, thus the union of the bowl and the wand combined with the sound and tension offers the endless possibility to be made manifest in accordance with divine will. The placement of the wand inside the bowl when it's not being played ensures that the masculine and the feminine energies are being not only strengthened but also maintained, and has the added bonus of easy access of the wand when you wish to play the bowl, and also so that the wand is not knocked or kicked into the bowl, causing damage or breakage. The placing of the wand inside the bowl completes the process and can be likened to the completion of a sacred and ancient ceremony where we are invoking and adhering to the sacredness through reverence and respect.
So when are you supposed to place the what's that little thing called? There's a wand?
The wand.
When
so
are you supposed to do that?
when you're done playing, you just put, like where I'm at my
you
house,
just put it back in
I
there?
just put it back into the bowl, and that's
Okay.
where it stays usually
Yeah.
at the house. So yeah,
That makes
if
sense.
you have a bowl, it's good to have your wand inside the bowl.
Yeah. My wand was not inside my bowl, and my dog found it. He chewed on it, so it would have been safe inside the bowl.
Exactly. So you can see there's a lot of science behind the bowls. A few other things we talked about before was frequency. And I think the best example of frequency that I can give is, have you ever been in a situation or been in a space where someone enters and you can just feel their frequency is so high that it's almost overwhelming to you? So we talked about Schumann resonance, and Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz, and that is the vibration of the earth. So that's our natural vibration as humans, and that's where we want to be as close to the Schumann resonance as we can. So when our frequencies are too high, we start to have disease, mental health problems, all kinds of things can occur. And the higher the frequency, the more likely you're going to have a mental problem or cancer or addiction or some of those other things. So doing things that help to bring your frequency down, like sound baths and meditation and yoga, is what we all need on this planet. We all need a little bit of that. So thank you for joining me to lower your frequency today. And I actually shared a little prayer that also works very well if you're ever in a situation where you can feel your frequency is too high. Adonai Sabaoth. And that translates to, I don't know if I brought the prayer with me. Let me look real quick. Holy, holy, holy. Here it is. That translates to holy, 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 Lord God of hosts and armies. So that's the Kadosh. So we can say it together, or I'll just say it myself. So
can you repeat it again?
What it is?
In pieces?
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. So 3 times.
Okay.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. So that's a little prayer you can say, and you're welcome to take a picture of it, or I'll send it to you if you want, and you can keep that with you in case you're ever feeling like your frequency is just way too high. I also talked a little bit about the limbic brain last time. For some of you that were at the trip, it keeps us stuck in fight or flight. We're constantly stuck in fight or flight. And what that does is inside your brain, when you're in that fight or flight mode, you're creating cortisol. And cortisol is toxic to your brain. So the things like the bowls, diet, yoga, all the things that we talked about before that lower your frequency also help you to get out of that fight or flight and stop creating cortisol in your brain. So when you're not creating cortisol, you're able to create DMT, which is the bliss molecule. It's the God molecule. And you can't create one, and you can't create both of these things in your brain at the same time. It's one or the other. So do your best to get yourselves out of that fight or flight. If you feel like you're stuck in there, take a minute, do the Kadosh, go do a yoga class, do a meditation, buy a bowl, play a bowl.
This is one of the quickest ways, because chanting or sound, it triggers a different part of your brain. I'm sure we could go more into brain science, but your brain gets addicted to the cortisol.
Yes,
because unfortunately, if it's continuing to produce cortisol when you don't have that, and that adrenal rush and all that stuff that comes with it, then the body doesn't know what to do, because all of a sudden it doesn't have this instant fake energy and all these things flushing around in it. And so we have to figure out tools to replace it with something that's healthy. And so that's why it's really hard to get out of that. And so those neural pathways are very, very deep. And
superhighways.
They're superhighways, yeah. They're literally superhighways, 6-lane superhighways. And so we have to restructure the brain with tools continually. Every single day we have to do those daily practices. It can't be you just come to a sound healing once a month or once a year. Oh, I'm better. No, you have to do the work, people. You have to do the work. And that's what I teach. I teach you to do the work. That's what Nicole teaches. She teaches you to do the work, but you've got to do it yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Okay? You have to do the work. It is critical for your survival. And you don't want to just survive. You want to thrive.
That's right.
Right? You want to thrive. You want to live in that bliss state. Being in the state of DMT is the most ecstatic, blissful space you could ever be in. And it's that place where you're completely out of your body in that
You're
space of
connected.
infinite possibilities. And to get into that space, we have to lift up and out of our natural state.
A unison. Okay, so if people ask me all the time, what good is it just to have one bowl? Well, this is what good it is. It's a harmonizing effect. So if you just have one bowl, this is what it's going to do for you. Stimulates the ganglion of impaired to balance sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So it's going to balance your nervous system. It balances your lower bowel, relaxes your perineal floor, settles your emotion, centers and calms the mind. So just having one bowl playing it in unison.
That we try so hard just to achieve that in meditation, but this is like instant. It's like instantly you're there.
Right. So if you're a yoga instructor, if you just have this bowl at home and play it, it's going to do all of those things for you.
And that's specifically the A note?
No, that's
No,
any note
any
by
of them.
itself.
Oh, okay.
So that's just playing one note by itself.
Okay.
Is called unison. So then you look at the next note is called the minor second. So the next one is for all the next 1, 2, 3, 4 are for releasing. And then I have more information about the second, third, and fourth note and what they do. So what you would do is like if you decided that you came up here and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this bowl. It's an A note, by the way. But do I want to play this note by itself, or do I want to play it with something else? So if you played the A, if you move one note over, which is the A sharp or a B flat, which I don't have a B flat, A sharp, that's going to be your minor second for releasing. Okay.
Y'all can
So
probably
minor
Google this.
second, if you just played two notes A and B together, they're not going to be harmonic. So some of them harmonize and some of them are dissonant notes. So those two would be dissonant notes. And if you play those together, you're going to release and disperse stuck and excess energy, interrupt critical thinking process, stimulate the lymphatic discharge, balance the genital and urinary system and ovaries, and enhance, if you're pregnant, it enhances attachment of the fetus to the uterine wall. So pretty amazing, just these two notes together. But like I said, they're not going to be harmonizing notes. So I'll give you an example of what that would sound like. It's almost like a little annoying.
You can hear it kind of fighting against each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so I will, annoying is the correct word, but it's not like that.
Like it's agitating a little bit.
Yes, but it's trying to break up that energy that's stuck. It's trying to help you release negative energy. So then, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but if you go 5 notes over, that's called a harmonic fifth. And a harmonic fifth is one of the most powerful things you can do. So that is a very harmonizing, relaxing, beautiful symphony of 2 notes together. So for the A note, you would move 5 spaces over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your D. So A and D are harmonic fifths.
Okay.
And here's what the harmonic fifths do. General harmonizing and balancing effects on chakras, heart, and sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It causes the sphenoid bone to vibrate and move in harmonic patterns, diaphragm cilia to resonate in harmony, and pituitary gland to release opiates and cannabinoid receptors in the third ventricle of your brain. It stimulates nitric oxide release. It's antibacterial, antiviral, and enhances your immune system. So with just these 2 bowls, 2 notes, it can do all of that. It can also lift depression. It allows your consciousness to move into higher states. So
And it's not just A and D. It's
no,
any
so you
fifth,
can
any
start on
harmonic
the
fifth.
harmonic wheel and you just move 5 spaces over.
And you go clockwise.
It can go either way,
Oh, really?
backwards
Okay.
and forwards. Actually, no, it does have to go clockwise.
Okay.
Sorry.
You want to try one?
Yeah. So I'll play Anybody have a specific note that they're particular to? I'll play her A and my D.
Contrast to the other one.
Right.
Right.
That's like
you don't even know.
So that's why these bowls aren't necessarily musical instruments, and why they're healing tools rather than musical instruments. They can be musical instruments, but they also are healing tools. So the other thing you can do is if you wanted to add a third bowl, you can make a major chord. So I'll play C, E, G, which is a major chord, and let you guys see, and that's harmonizing. So I'll let you see how that sounds. So you can see how that adding that middle note, just it raises up the other two that are already harmonic fifths. It just helps to raise those notes up a little bit.
Anyone have any feedback on that one? The chord? I love the chord. It's so nice. Yeah.
So I'm going to just show you some real quick techniques for playing the bowls, so that way when we do our sound bath afterwards, you're welcome to come get some bowls and we'll play them. So several different ways you can play the bowls. Like I said before, if you have a bowl that hadn't been played yet, it's going to need to be asked to be played. So what I normally do is each time I tap it 3 times. You want to do that to start the bowl, to get a little warmed up and really kind of to get its permission to play it. So you can start just by rimming the outside of it. You want to hold the wand kind of like a pen, and you need to be, it needs to be pretty sturdy. So you don't want it to be wobbly, otherwise it'll make a, it'll drag, yeah, do that. So you want to hold it pretty sturdy. You apply pressure to the outside of the bowl. You don't want to go too fast and you don't want to go too slow. And whenever that bowl starts to get to that level that you think is good, you kind of like, it's like a cut. Just kind of cut it off. So you can start playing the bowl without striking it first. You can also strike the bowl, and then you want to hold it, this time when you strike it, you want to keep it kind of loose. And just lightly tap it like a quarter of the way down, where we call it the sweet spot.
Not on the rim?
Well, it's really hitting this part of
okay.
it. And then you can start. Another way I like to play some of the bowls, probably not going to do that today because it requires them to be picked up, but another way that I like to play the bowls is I put it in my hand.
So the hand doesn't make it stop ringing?
No, you can put it flat in your hand. If you have a ring on or something, sometimes it'll,
yeah.
Yeah, but so if you have a ring on it, make sure it's not touching the bowl, and then you can start it. With this bowl and some of the bigger the rim. Some of them won't do that, but some of them do. So you kind of just have to play with them to see what they like and how they respond to the different techniques. So that's kind of how to play the bowls. When I do a sound bath, what I do is I play some dissonant. It depends on what we're trying to achieve. So today we want to do two things. We're trying to bring some good energy in. We're trying to get rid of some bad energy. I think sometimes you have to get rid of something to create the space for the good things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the chakras, but I'm going to go up the chakra ladder. And because I'm going up the chakra ladder, I'm going to be playing bowls that are next to each other, which I talked about before, which is the first, which is dissonant bowls. So I'll start with a bowl, I'll go to the next bowl. When I do that, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that dissonant energy hit you somewhere. And then we'll do that.
If you want to post any questions, just post them in the comments, okay? We'll get to them.
I'm going to play one of my favorite bowl protocols, which is for central nervous system relaxation. And that's C, G, C, F, C, A, C, G. So I'll play that, and then I'll...
So I have a question. Okay, so when you are doing a dissonant bowl and you're releasing, then since things are coming out of your energy field, how do you replace that so it doesn't come right back? Like, because some of those things released are kind of like a rubber band, you know, like we'll release them and then, oh, it's so habitual, it comes right back.
Oh.
So how do we do that? Do we replace it with something else, or do we just continue the practice and just continue to release, or is there like something you can do to fill up that space that we let go?
Well, I think that comes from the intention that we set, right?
Okay.
So we're setting an intention for our meditation today, and I kind of talked about that a little bit, about setting maybe a self-reflection intention. So when we're releasing, we're trying to manifest that intention. So that's hopefully what's filling that space. Okay. You're letting go of something to bring in what you wanted to bring in through your intentions. So the intentions are probably the most significant part of the sound bath, and being open to the energy. So being open to the energy and setting those intentions so that when you do release something and create space, something else that's good is there to take.
So yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at too, is that you really specifically do have to have that set in place, because if not, that stuff you let go will just come right back. Mm-hmm. You know, it's used to being attached, and it's really pretty cozy where it's at. Even though we don't want it there, it's used to being there, and it might have been there for a really long time, or it might have just gotten there. But you know, when we do make sure that, again, back to our theme of releasing and letting go of what we need to from this past year, and then embracing over this period between now and the new year. We don't wait until the new year to get started and okay, I'm just eat like crap, and I'm just going to drink a whole bunch, and I'm just going to smoke some weed and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the new year, I'm going to quit everything. You know, so we start those little processes, you know, early. That's why you're here. You guys are here because you're intending on having a more healthful life and using more tools in that. And so as we release, then we also bring it in. And it's a two-part process. Just like you remember when we did the heart exercise where you're giving. You can't give with an empty cup. You have to receive back in. It's just the cyclical law of nature is that yin and that yang. And we have to have both sides of that. So thank you for sharing that. That's a really good point to bring up.
Anybody have any questions before we move into the more meditative sound part?
What's the difference between the round bottom and the flat bottom? Is there any difference?
It's just a different it's just a different type bowl, yeah. So
she was noticing that some of them are rounded and some of them are flat. Some of them are more.
They're actually all kind of rounded on the bottom, which is why you need the rings.
Yeah.
But they just make variations of the bowls. They also make one called a practitioner bowl that has a handle. So it's a smaller bowl and it has a handle. So if you were using it during Reiki, you can hold on to it and play it.
Oh, that's
I don't
wonderful.
have any of those.
Is that what the picture is on the back?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. It looks like it's upside down.
So also on there, it kind of explains too how the bowls are sold. So you can buy a bowl, you can buy 2 bowls, you can buy a set, you can buy a master set, you can buy an endocrine set, you can buy, you know, whatever. If you're interested in buying bowls, let me know, and we'll get together and create a perfect set for you. I have sets here today too, and gonna give like 25% off
Ooh.
to anybody that wants to buy a bowl, or you know, even if you want to make an appointment with me to come look at bowls and you buy something later on, but you wanna talk to me about it today, staying with the people that are watching,
Okay.
I'll give you all 25% off.
So y'all can message Nicole on Facebook, Nicole Graffis, and her page is So Hum Crystal Sounds.
Website with descriptions.
So
Okay,
yeah, thank
anybody
you
else?
for the offer.
Questions? Am I okay on time? Cause I'm just supposed to start at.
No, we're okay. We just have like 10 minutes of just relaxation, like Shavasana style relaxation. I think maybe 10 minutes. Yeah, see if y'all want to just lay back, relax completely. We'll do a Shavasana corpse pose. Yeah, your crown of your head is best toward the bowls. Great point. So just moving the crown of the head toward the bowls. Does anyone have the extra herbs that we had passed out for demonstration earlier? Those bowls of herbs, I'd like to collect all those to make sure they don't get spilled or anything. And then keep your herbs that you had taken for your own ceremony. Thank you so much. So, Nadia, if you want to switch your head to face the bowls, just flip around real quick on the mat
You
there.
need to come to my house and play with
Yeah.
Huh? Free yours, and then you can
All right, so go ahead and just everyone relax.
sleep.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry that was a really abbreviated version of my sound bath, but
We'll do another
We'll do it
workshop
again.
full on, the
Yeah.
full on thing.
yeah. So thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for joining online. It was great to be here, and hopefully see you soon.
Namaste.